Bit of a scrummage over there at the far side. Gerald Donnelly has been fouled in that scrummage, and that's a free up for Trillick. Ray Casty with the free. Up he comes with it towards Sean Donnelly. Ball eventually breaking on the loose, and it's Sean Donnelly with the ball. Sean Donnelly now with the ball, getting it to Gerald Donnelly. Gerald Donnelly gets a fairly hefty tackle from Oddy Hamilton, but it's still Gerald Donnelly in possession, and this time the referee decides that Gerald Donnelly deserves a free for all that trouble. So it's a free. It's about 43 metres out. It's to the left of the goals, and it's Ray Cassidy who, of course, will be taking it. Ray Cassidy up he comes, floating it in. It's going to float over the end line and wide. And the score remains 6 points to 1 goal and 2 points. 1 point lead in favour of Trillick. And we're getting very, very close indeed to the half-time whistle. And now the rain starting to pelt down in Pomeroy. John F. Kelly with the kick out. Up they go for it. Ray Cassidy goes high but doesn't claim it. But Trillick are still on the attack towards Sean Donnelly and Sean Casey. It's the Dungannon man who gets it towards David Heffernan. David Heffernan getting it up into his hands, doing very well, and still with David Heffernan. David trying to clear his lines, doesn't succeed. John Donnelly robs David Heffernan, and now it's Iggy Gallagher. Iggy standing, shooting and sending wide. And as the umbrellas go up, we are getting very, very close to the half-time whistle. John F. Kelly with the kick out. Up the reach for Terry Loughrne, gets up high. The ball in a scrimmage over there. Eventually Oddy Hamilton boots it down the field. Chrissy Morgan going for it. Chrissy Morgan doesn't get it. Francie Geller does. Francie is fouled in the process. Francie steals a yard or two, and referee Shane Corr says, just take it back a little, please. And Ray Cassidy now with the free in the middle of the field. Low ball, dropping it in. Not still dropping, but it's going to drop harmlessly, and is eventually cleared. To Chris Morgan. Chris Morgan to Gary to Paul Madden. I'm sorry, Paul Madden eventually getting across to Gary McClintock. Gary still with the ball. Gary McConville. Gary gets the ball in, and eventually it is cleared up the field again towards Mickey McAleer. Mickey McAleer and John Mitchell contesting together. Oddy Hamilton loses the ball, and Mickey McAleer now in front of the goals on his own. Decides not to shoot, instead he decides to bring Iggy Geller into it. Iggy does shoot, and Iggy sends it over the bar. And that is the situation now then. Trillick 7 points, Dungannon 1 goal and 2 points in it, and we must be very, very close to the half-time whistle. In fact, I think we're really over it, but the referee probably playing for stoppages. Out it comes. Ewan McGinn makes it his own. Ewan now bringing Dungannon into it. Brendan Donnelly doesn't get that one. Oddy Hamilton does towards Brian Barker. Towards Jody Kelly, I'm sorry. Jody Kelly, however, only breaks it out as far as Gerald Donnelly. And Gerald, although he's a corner forward, is well away down his own side of the field there. There goes the half-time whistle. And in Plunkett Park, the Tyrone Senior football final replay, it's Trillick 7 points, Dungannon 1 goal and 2. And I think, really, it's fair to say that it is a better game than the first one. But it's a game which toed and froed a little as Trillick took a very, very early lead and looked very much the better team. But Dungannon slowly but surely clawed their way back and were rewarded with that Chrissy Morgan goal with about 10 minutes to go. And really, it's anybody's game. Trillick will now face the wind in the second half, a wind that has returned somewhat with the rain. Incidentally, on the platform with us here today, we have distinguished visitors from the BBC, and I'm sure some of you might be interested in knowing that from the point of view that there will be some coverage on BBC of this game at some time or other. And with the score at Trillick 7 points, Dungannon 1 goal and 2, we are ready for kick-off again. The rain not really sure whether to come down or not. as Trillick now prepare to play towards the country end, I call it, and Dungannon play with the wind towards the town end. This is Pat King with the kick out. Hands reaching for it. Brendan Donnelly doesn't quite get it. The ball eventually breaks to Francie Galler. Francie gets a high ball very close to the far sideline. Hands reaching for it again, but this time it's broken down, and it's Sean Casey who clears for Dungannon. Sean Casey clearing it very close to the sideline. Terry Loughlin. Terry across the field to Ewan McGinn. Ewan out in the clear. Liam Donnelly now picks him up to Brian Barker. Brian Barker claims that very well, waiting for a player to come in. Decides to have a go himself, and why wouldn't he, because that's a fine point. And that reduces the leeway to 1 point. Second half just commenced. Trillick 7 points, Dungannon 1 goal and 3. Ball set for the kick out. Pat King. Dungannon supporters getting behind their men. How it comes. Oddie Hamilton fields very, very well. Oddie Hamilton across to David Heffernan. David Heffernan getting across to Peter Feeney. Back to David Heffernan. And now Dungannon are moving sweetly. David Heffernan steadying himself, sending the ball, but he sends it across the goals and he sends it wide. And the score remains 7 points to 6, or 7 points to 1 goal and 3 if you prefer it that way. Joe McGrade, the bearded Joe, with the kick out. High one. Towards the far side of the field. Terry Loughlin breaks it down, but Sean Donnelly claims possession of it. Sean Donnelly being tackled and Sean Donnelly being fouled by Brian Barker, and that's a free down for Trillick. Free to be taken by Pat King. That's all right. Pat King getting across to this side of the field, where Brendan Donnelly gets it up into his hands, being tackled, and the ball goes out over the sideline from that tackle by Peter Feeney, and that's a sideline ball to Dungannon. Sideline ball, Oddie Hamilton to take it. Just down in front of us here. Takes a low one, but he gives it back to Brendan Donnelly, and now Brendan sends it down towards Ray Cassidy. Ray Cassidy punching it towards Iggy Gallagher, and Iggy now out in the clear on his own, moving very well. Iggy Gallagher straight in front of the goal, takes his kick, and Iggy Gallagher scores a goal. And that's a great score from Trillick's Iggy Gallagher, and that surely is a score which could prove very important as Trillick start off this second half against the wind and with a slender enough lead, but that goal surely should improve their chances. So it's Trillick 1 goal and 7 points, and Dungannon 1 goal and 3. There's 4 points in it. Up the reach for it. And now we should really see a game. Iggy Gallagher with the ball again. Iggy Gallagher getting it back to Declan O'Hagan. Declan O'Hagan doesn't kick that very well. It only goes as far as Paul Madden. Paul Madden towards the far side of the field. Very, very close to the end line. Jody Kelly's not going to get that one. That's over the sideline, and it's a free down. Sideline ball for Dungannon. Fine goal from Iggy. What a good game Iggy has had in both the first game and today. Youngest Trillick player on the field. Francie Gallagher, his brother, with the kick. Francie doesn't succeed in very well in that one because he kicks it out over the sideline again, and now it's a sideline ball to Dungannon. Chrissy Morgan to take it. I'm sorry, Gary McConville to take it. I always get confused in those two. Ball taken across to Brian Barker. Brian Barker, the Dungannon full forward, but he's away out on the wing this time. Getting it across, but he doesn't succeed very well in that one, and Declan O'Hagan is the man who gets the clearance. Francie Gallagher, sorry, is the man who puts in the clearance. Francie Gallagher is fouled, and it's a free from where the ball lands. And the referee having some words with Brendan Donnelly. I'm not sure what that's about, but on we go with the game. Declan O'Hagan is going to be the free taker. Game about the second half, about 5 minutes old as Declan O'Hagan sends that into Brenton Donnelly. Brenton Donnelly rounding Ollie Hamilton this time, still with Brenton Donnelly. 3 Dungannon men around it. Brenton gets his kick in. Ball breaking in towards Sean Donnelly. Sean Donnelly takes a shot. Now it's with John Donnelly. Back to Sean, and Sean takes a shot, and Sean sends it over the bar. And Trillick have certainly increased their scores somewhat in the last few minutes. So it's Trillick 1 goal and 8 points, Dungannon 1 goal and 3. And now we must ask the question, will the youth of Dungannon and the immaturity to some extent, will it be enough to come back now with the odds slightly stacked against them? But it's young yet. Out it comes. Up the Richford. Ball breaking very close to the sideline. Iggy Geller picks it up. Iggy Geller goes out over the sideline, but he was put over it illegally, and that's a sideline ball to, that's a free, sorry, to Trillick. Declan O'Hagan, number 7 for Trillick, getting ready to take this sideline ball. This free, I'm sorry. Up he comes with it. Bringing it in. John Donnelly claims it. John Donnelly working his way in, and John Donnelly gets a free in the process. And at the moment, there is a Dungannon sub warming up. So Ray Castey with what should be, for him, a relatively easy scoring opportunity. And yes, it's there. That's up another point for Trillick, and that now increases their lead to 5 points. So the score now is Trillick 1 goal and to 6 points. Trillick 1 goal and 9 points. Dungannon 1 goal and 3. And John F. Kelly getting ready for the kick out. And both sets of supporters now exhorting their teams on. Will it be the maturity of Trillick or the exuberance of Dungannon? Well, it's the moment it's the exuberance of Dungannon, because that's Terry Lochern getting it well. Paddy McArdle. Paddy now sending Dungannon on the attack towards the far side of the field. Ewan McGinn reaching for it. Ball doesn't quite break kindly for him, and Sean Donnelly gets it instead. Sean Donnelly sends it towards Gerald Donnelly. Gerald Donnelly and David Heffernan. The ball very close to the sideline. Ball out over the sideline, and that is a sideline ball to Dungannon. To Trillick, I'm sorry. Sideline ball to Trillick. Declan O'Hagan to be the taker. And Cuthbert Donnelly instructing Declan exactly where to place this ball. Towards Iggy Gallagher. Iggy gets the ball in, dropping it in towards Kevin McCartney. Kevin McCartney gets his hand to it, and the goalkeeper does well. And that could have been another goal for Trillick. Kevin McCartney very well in there, but John F. Kelly was able to read the situation and broke the ball out over the end line, and that's a 45-metre. And at the moment, the sub on for Dungannon is Noel McGuinness, I'm sorry. Number 23, Noel McGuinness is the sub on for Dungannon. Ray Castey with the 45-metre out towards Iggy Gallagher. Gerald Donnelly trying to get it up. David Heffernan gets it instead. David being tackled by Iggy Gallagher. David being fouled by Iggy Gallagher, and that's a free up for Dungannon. David Heffernan with the free. Ball well caught by Brenton Donnelly. And now Brenton sending Trillick on the attack once more, sending it in towards Mickey McAleer. Mickey McAleer going low for getting it into his possession, trying to round Paddy McArdle. But in the process, Mickey McAleer has fouled the ball, and that's a free for Dungannon. Paddy McArdle, the Dungannon captain and centre half back. Up they reach for it. Pat King gets it to Brenton Donnelly. And Brenton Donnelly drop kicks it towards Iggy Gallagher. but the ball eventually breaks to Paddy McArdle. Paddy McArdle and John Donnelly, and the Dungannon man is fouled, and that's another free up. Sending it towards the side of the field. That's Brian Barker. Brian Barker back to David Heffernan. David Heffernan rounding Gerald Donnelly. And now sending a high ball, but that one's going to go wide. And the score remains Trillick 1 goal and 9 points. Dungannon 1 goal and 3. And at this point in time, there is 10 minutes of the second half gone. Who will it be receiving the cup? In another 20 minutes. Well, if you stick with us, we'll tell you. That's Pat King for Trillick. Pat gets it short and out to Brendan Donnelly on his own out on this side of the field. Now Brendan Donnelly taking it on his toe and sending a ball across the field, but he only gets it as far as John Mitchell. John Mitchell to Terry Lochern. Terry Lochern play rather loose at the moment as Paddy McArdle gets it for Dungannon across to Ewan McGinn. Ewan now moving goalwards. Sends a pass in towards Jody Kelly. Jody Kelly and Seamus Gormley. The ball eventually breaking, and it's the Trillick man who put it out, and that's a 45-metre free to Dungannon. And moving up to take it is their centre half back, Paddy McArdle. I'm not sure, I may have called him their captain a moment ago. Of course, it's Terry Lochern who is the Dungannon captain. So, centre half back, Paddy McArdle with the 45-metre free to the right of the goals. Getting it across to Oddie Hamilton. Oddie Hamilton kicks, the ball is floating about, but somebody or other got a hand to it, and it has gone wide for another 45-metre. And there is now a Trillick sub into the game, and the Trillick sub into the game is none other than young Colin Garty. Number 19, Colin Garty for Trillick. I'll tell you in a moment who's going off. Yes, and the player going off is Kevin McCarney. Here comes the 45-metre. This is a good one. And that's over the bar from centre half back Paddy McArdle. And that reduces the leeway to 5 points. Dungannon 1 goal and 4. Trillick 1 goal and 9. Ball set for the kick out as the supporters now start to get behind their teams, and I'm sure at the moment these Dungannon supporters will be hoping that a few scores will come quickly. Pat King with the kick out into the middle, and reaching John Donnelly breaks it down. And now the ball with Mickey McAleer. Mickey McAleer full forward, but he's well out at this stage, getting the ball back to Francie Geller. Francie Geller getting attention from a couple of Dungannon players and being fouled in the process, and that's a free down. And once again Shane Corr making certain that the free is taken from where it should be. In other words, where the offence was committed. Francie Geller with the free. Up he comes with it, rubbing it in. Brendan Donnelly reaching for it. Brendan Donnelly getting it into his hands, turning, still with Brendan Donnelly. Gets it across the field this time to Gerald Donnelly. Gerald Donnelly sends a short ball in, breaking it in towards Colin Garty, the sub. Colin Garty now to Iggy Gallagher. Iggy shoots, oh, and Iggy shoots wide. And, well, there was another scoring opportunity. So Colin Garty getting into the play very, very early on. He's only come on about 2 or 3 minutes ago, but he featured strongly in that Trillick attack. John F. Kelly with the kick out. John Donnelly punches it down. And there's a free up this time. A free up for Dungannon. And Paddy McArdle is to be the free taker. And there's another substitute on the field this time, and the substitute is none other than Declan Muldoon. Declan, of course, Tyrone panel member who suffered fairly serious injury earlier on, is the man coming on, and going off this time is number 13 for Dungannon, Peter Feeney. So, Paddy McArdle with the free. Paul Madden trying to get into his hands. Declan O'Hagan gets out in front of him, and Declan O'Hagan now sends it up towards Noel McGuinness, trying to get it into his hands. Noel McGuinness is fouled in the process, and that's a free up for Trillick. For Dungannon, I'm sorry. Sean Donnelly inquiring how long is left, as this free is to be taken by Ray Cassidy. Free up to Trillick, of course. It's a good one, dropping it in, but I think it's going to drop wide. And the score remains in Trillick 1 goal and 9, Dungannon 1 goal and 4, and I make it about 15 minutes gone in this second half. Ball set for the kick out by John F. Kelly. Brendan Donnelly, Audie Hamilton. Goes over the both of their heads to Liam Donnelly. Liam Donnelly to Colin Garty. Colin Garty, a very good ball across to Brendan Donnelly. And Brendan Donnelly still travelling through. But eventually Brendan Donnelly is stopped in his process and the ball is cleared towards this side of the field. Keeping it in play. And Dungannon still in possession. Getting it across to Ewan McGinn. Ewan out on his own on this side of the field. Not on his own for long though, because Sean Donnelly tackled him. But there has been an incident over on the far side of the field, and the play will be called back. Well, we were following the ball, and I'm not sure exactly what happened over there, but certainly the referee has decided that it's worth investigating. There's a player on the field, on the ground over there. I'm not sure who exactly it is. I can't see. I think it's Terry Loughearn, maybe. Yes, Terry Loughearn is the player who is being talked to. He seems to be injured as well. And now that that has been cleared up, the referee is calling for the ball, and I'm not just exactly sure what he's going to do with it at the moment. So the tension mounting here in Pomeroy. Throws the ball up. Paddy McArdle breaks it down. Ball eventually goes to Audie Hamilton. Audie trying to work his way through. He's fouled. He gets the ball across to Paul Madden, and now Madden turns Declan O'Hagan and goes goalwards. He sends a high ball. He sends it over the bar, and that's a good score for Paul Madden and for Dungannon. And it's now 1 goal and 9 points to Trillick, 1 goal and 5 to Dungannon, and the rain clouds are gathering once more. Pat King, the man to take the kick out. Out it comes. Ball breaking eventually to Declan O'Hagan. Declan sends a long ball up the field. It eventually is claimed by Gerald Fearon. And Gerald Fearon now sending Dungannon on the attack. Up the jumper, the ball eventually breaking to Gerald Donnelly. Gerald Donnelly sends a low ball to Brendan Donnelly, who is standing out on his own, and now Brendan travelling through the Dungannon defence, and he's still with Brendan Donnelly, and it's still with Brendan Donnelly. Eventually he loses it. The referee has decided that he has carried it too far, and that's a free up for Dungannon. Short free taken, but the referee decides to call it back. Supporters not too happy about that. They want the game to go on, and I'm almost certain they're probably Dungannon followers at this stage. Dungannon need all the time they can, 4 points in arrears. Towards this side of the field. Chris Morgan claiming it for his own, getting around Francie Geller this time. Sending a high, dangerous ball in towards the middle. Up they jump for it. Ewan McGinn breaks it down. Brian Barker on it very quickly. Brian Barker, Terry Loughearn is the man this time. It's Brian Barker now, but Brian Barker has got a fist to it. Brian Barker has fisted it wide, and it'll be another kick out for Trillick. 1-9 to 1-5, and 10 minutes left. Joe McGrath with the kick out. Out it comes towards the far side of the field. Fists going for it, but this time the ball breaks to Chrissy Morgan. Chrissy Morgan on the far side of the field now sends a high dropping ball, and it has gone narrowly wide. And Dungannon need those scores badly. So 10 minutes between Trillick and the O'Neill Cup, or if you like to put it another way, 10 minutes for Dungannon to claw back those 4 points in arrears. Joe McGrath once again with the kick out. John Donnelly fisted down. Eventually it's Chris Morgan. What a good game Chris is having. Getting Dungannon on the attack again, but this time it's John Kelly who cleans up for Trillick. Towards Mickey McAleer. Ball bounces unkindly for Mickey, and now it's Dungannon on the attack. That was Jody Kelly. Jody Kelly across Liam Donnelly now, contesting for the ball. Liam Donnelly trying to get the ball up. Seamus Gormley eventually does get the ball up, and the referee decides that he did so by picking it off the ground, and that'll be a free in for Dungannon, a free in for Jody Kelly. It's about 15, 16 metres out to the right of the goals, and what will he do? Will he send it across the goals, or will he go for a score? Well, he sends it across the goals. Punched by Audie Hamilton. Dangerous ball. Joe McGrath, and that ball's in the net. Goal for Dungannon. The scorer there, quite difficult from here to see, but I think it was Terry Loughran. And now we really have a game on our hands. Number 9, I think, was the scorer there, and it's 2 goals and 5 points for Dungannon. 1 goal and 9 for Trillick, and Eugene Barrett is on the Trillick team. So there's just 1 point in it. 1 point in it, about 8 minutes to go, as Eugene Barrett comes into the attack for Trillick. And Pat King now getting ready for the kick out. And yes, we really have a game now. Out comes the kick into the middle of the field. Up they go for it. Audie Hamilton trying to get it into his hands. It goes instead to Paddy McArdle. McArdle sending a high ball towards this side of the field. Up they reach for it. Pat King gets a fist to it. Gets it out to Liam Donnelly. And now Liam clearing his lines. Doesn't clear it very far though. Towards brother Gerald. Gerald breaks it down to John Kelly. And John, despite the attentions of a couple of Dungannon players, still has the ball. Sheds gets a short-fisted pass to Brendan Donnelly. Brendan Donnelly down this side of the field, sending a high ball, breaking it in. Ball eventually breaking to Sean Casey. Sean Casey only gets it as far as Shawnee Donnelly. And now Shawnee trying to move through. Shawnee is fouled in the process, and that's a free in for Trillick. Free in for Trillick, and a free almost on the 45-metre line. Will Ray Cassidy increase Trillick's lead to 2 points? Could be a very important score, although we still have plenty of time. Ray steadying himself. Up he comes, and over it goes. And that increases Trillick's lead to 2 points. And this is a much better final than last Sunday. Both teams today seem far more eager for victory than they did last Sunday. As I say, I don't know whether it was the big match on the Sunday before, or whether they were weighing each other up, but certainly there's more bite in this game today, and there's what I mean. John Donnelly is the man providing the bite at the moment, getting it across to Brendan Donnelly. Brendan Donnelly trying to play Ray Cassidy into it. Sean Casey breaks up the attack, and eventually it goes to Johnny Mitchell, and Johnny Mitchell clears for Dungannon. High ball up towards the far side of the field. Eventually the ball breaking to Declan O'Hagan. Declan O'Hagan claiming it, losing it, getting it again, and still with Declan O'Hagan, and Declan O'Hagan is fouled, and that's good defensive work from Declan O'Hagan. Yes, 2 goals and 5 points, 11 points to Dungannon. 1 goal and 10, 13 to Trillick. 2 points in it, about, I would say, 6 minutes left. Ball set for the free. In the middle of the field, Declan O'Hagan to be the taker. Up he comes. Hands reaching for it is broken down. Brendan Donnelly is the man in possession, but the referee decides that there was an offence of some kind or other there, and that's a free out for Dungannon. Free out for Dungannon. Paddy McArdle getting ready to take it. Paddy McArdle, as you might expect now, in quite a hurry to take it. Takes it quickly towards the far side, towards Chrissy Morgan. Chrissy Morgan and Francie Geller over there. It's the Dungannon man who gets it, and it's the Trillick man who fouls him, and that's a free in for Dungannon, about 50 metres out. Free in. Gary McConville moving up to take it. And a great sense of urgency now about both teams, as you might well expect, because 5 minutes now will mean the difference between defeat and success. Will the cup be moving to Dungannon, or will it be going back to the Fermanagh side of the county? 5 minutes will tell us. Gary McConville, up he comes with it. And that's Brendan Donnelly. What a good game he's had. Gets it back to his full-back Pat King. And King clears towards Eugene Barrett. Can Eugene get his first attack? Gerald Donnelly claims it from Eugene, and now Gerald sends a ball towards Colin Garty. Colin breaks it down to Iggy Gallagher, and now the Trillick forwards are moving quickly up this side of the field. Iggy Gallagher still in possession, gets a low ball to Eugene Barrett. Can Eugene make that one? Gets a good pass across to Colin Garty. Unfortunately hits it a little too hard. Colin can't quite get that one. John F. Kelly gets it out instead to Union McGinn, and Union now sending Dungannon on the attack. Nice flowing football now. That's Sean Donnelly way back in his own defence. Sean Donnelly clearing his lines towards Colin Garty way out on the sideline. Will that go over the sideline? No, it doesn't. Colin Garty keeps it in. He doesn't keep it in, sorry. And that ball is over the sideline, and the sideline ball for Dungannon. 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. 1-10 to Trillick, 2-5 to Dungannon. 2 points in it. Supporters really getting behind their teams now. Low ball. Ball breaking. Declan O'Hagan tries to get it. Ball eventually breaking to Union McGinn. Union McGinn is fouled in the process, and some of the supporters don't like that. Some of the Dungannon supporters, that is. But the referee decides that there's no need for any great aplomb about it, and he's waiting just until Union gets up. That's the Dungannon manager over there, P.J. McGlinchey. Incidentally, haven't talked about managers, but P.J. McGlinchey is the Dungannon man. John Donnelly is the Trillick manager. And Shane Corr now has decided that he will investigate that, and he's going to talk, I think. No, he's not. I thought he was taking a player to the one side, but he's not. And Union McGinn is up on his feet again, and we're ready to continue with the game if PJ could get his wee tank out of the way. Paddy McArdle with the free then. Up he comes with it. Long ball. Oddie Hamilton breaks it down, and now it's Dungannon's Paul Madden. Paul Madden kicks. Paul Madden's kick is blocked down, and that's a 45-metre for Dungannon. Could this be Dungannon's last opportunity to get a score, maybe get a goal, and sneak that 1 point ahead? All players, bar 4, are now in this half of the field. Paddy McArdle with the kick. No doubt he'd probably float it in. He does indeed. Sends it in towards the goal mouth, and he sends it wide. And the score remains 2-5 to Dungannon, 1 goal and 10 to Trillick, 13-11, 2 points, and it's getting very, very close indeed to the final whistle. Joe McGrade with the kick out. Up goes Brendan Donnelly, in goes Brian Barker. Brian fouls Brendan, and that's a free down for Trillick. And now all the urgency has gone out of Trillick. Declan O'Hagan taking plenty of time, and could you blame him? All the urgency, that is, until the game starts again, because Seamus Gormley's going to take this free. Seamus sends a low ball, trying to bring Eugene Barrett into it. Gerald Donnelly is right out here in the sideline. Gerald Donnelly doesn't keep it from going over the sideline, and that's a sideline ball to Dungannon. And Shane Corr making sure that Gerald Donnelly's efforts to delay the game don't last too long. David Heffernan with the kick. Up it comes. Oddie Hamilton reaches for it. Ball breaks to Brendan Donnelly. Brendan Donnelly is still in possession. Gets his clearance in to Iggy Gallagher. A couple of Dungannon men around him, but the ball eventually breaks to Eugene Barrett. Eugene doesn't quite control it, but John Donnelly does. John Donnelly being hustled by Noel McGuinness, and John Donnelly being fouled by Noel McGuinness, and that could be an important foul because, well, it's always another few seconds as far as Trillick are concerned. Patsy McYahey and company here getting ready on the sideline to give their boys a tumultuous welcome if they can last out for the next minute or two. Declan O'Hagan with the kick towards this side of the field. Iggy Geller racing for it. Iggy Geller and Gary McConville. It's the Trillick man who gets it up but loses it again, and Iggy Geller gets it out over the sideline. Sideline ball to Dungannon. Literally only, I make it a minute or so left. Out it comes. Gerald Donnelly fielding well for Trillick. Getting it across to Declan O'Hagan. Declan O'Hagan away across to Colm Garty on the far side of the field. Colm Garty on his own now. John Mitchell after him, still with Colm Garty. Colm working his way in. Getting at a shot. Oh, he doesn't do so well with it eventually. And that ball is with Paddy McArdle, who cut out that attack. And Paddy McArdle is fouled. Takes a very quick free to David Heffernan. David Heffernan now getting the ball into his hands, sending it towards this side of the field. And Jody Kelly. Jody Kelly way down in his own half of the field. Cross, and it's all over. It's all over. And Trillick are the 1986 Tyrone Senior